I have been playing Animal Crossing since the very beginning. Now, I wasn't there at the release of the original, but I played the original first, maybe about 3 or 4 years after it came out. And I can definitely say that each Animal Crossing, as they came out and as I played them, they all offered something special that just made them so fun to play. But looking back on Animal Crossing New Horizons, I just didn't feel that. I'm not here to say that Animal Crossing New Horizons is a bad game. I just wished that I could have loved it more than I did. It just didn't capture me the same way that the old games did. I was excited for the game. I remember always wondering why Animal Crossing didn't go on the Wii U and why it was taking so long for it to get on Switch. If you go back, or if you've been watching me for so long, like any footage of me over the past like 3 years is me making jokes about like, oh, Nintendo, where's Animal Crossing? You know, where is it? Where is it on the Switch? Where is it on the Wii U? Just give us Animal Crossing. So believe me when I say I was looking forward to this game. I really was. And I have a lot of good things to say about it, but there are just way too many lacking features that, I don't know, it just left kind of like a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel like I'm not the only one with this opinion. I feel like there are a lot of Animal Crossing veterans out there who feel the same way. But on the contrast, I noticed that a lot of new players actually find the game really refreshing and fun, which I think is fantastic. So obviously the biggest thing about the new game is the fact that you can like put furniture outside, which is huge, and move it around and pick where you want houses. Like just the outdoor customization is on an entirely new level that we had never seen before. And in my opinion, that is something that if there was anything they could have taken, like feedback from the community, that was the number one thing. They totally nailed it in terms of being able to let us do whatever we wanted with the outdoors. But I feel like that's the only thing they really focused on. Yeah, everything else felt kind of lackluster. In New Leaf, there was so much more to do. In fact, I believe they just added swimming in the game, which is so strange because it takes place on an island. Like, you'd think swimming would just be a core mechanic of the game since it was in the previous iteration that came out 7 years before. So, I don't know. I don't know how to feel in terms of just all these lacking features. My wish is that, give it 2 years and Animal Crossing will be this fully featured game with a ton of extra content to do. But as someone who got the game at launch, which it is the first time I've ever done that with Animal Crossing, it just felt really lackluster. I guess the best way I can word it is Animal Crossing New Horizons isn't a bad game. It's just kind of disappointing. And that's kind of sad because I was really looking forward to it. So, why am I sitting here and talking about this? Well, for 2 reasons. Number one, I kind of built up a channel on Animal Crossing because I thought this was going to be my new fun side project where I would just sit down and play Animal Crossing every day and make content on it, and it was this really exciting idea. And in my opinion, I think that both enhanced the experience but also kind of ruined it. I feel like I felt obligated to do certain things when I would have preferred to do them other ways. And thanks to me making content, this was actually the first time I've played Animal Crossing where I did not time travel. Throughout my history of playing Animal Crossing, I had always time traveled. In fact, Animal Crossing to me was like I would get the game, and then for 3 months, I would just no-life it. I would play it hours and hours and hours a day. And as soon as I would run out of things to do on a particular day, I would just change the clock, go to the next day. And I'd do that for 3 months. I'd experience like a year and a half of Animal Crossing in 3 months. And that's how I always played. I'm very much like a really get into something, no-life it, get burnt out, and then move on to the next thing. That's kind of like how I play games. And I didn't do that this time. I paced it out, got on 1 to 2 hours a day, did my stuff. And maybe that's why I didn't really get as hooked as I thought I would, but I don't know. I feel like that's how most people play anyway, so I don't think my playstyle is to blame as to why I think the game is so lackluster. I will say one of my favorite features of the new game was playing with friends online. I had way more fun playing online than I did playing by myself. I don't know, there's just something cool about going to someone else's world, looking at their stuff, going through their shop. Oh my gosh, every time I'd go to someone else's island, I would instantly go to their shop and just do a complete fashion overhaul, just because I didn't have one yet, and I thought that was so cool. I think Animal Crossing just has a ton of really amazing quality of life changes, but not enough like new features where it's like, wow, that's like new content. Going to random islands is kind of cool, and I feel like they did that on purpose so they didn't have to design a bunch of new things, right? If you have RNG determine like what island you go to and it's all randomly generated, like that is such a brilliant way to create tons of content, but only having to make like one system, right? You only had to make the system of the island traveling, and then RNG would handle the rest. And I don't know, maybe like new players really like that, but after I visited, like, I'm not even kidding when I say this, I think I visited 3 islands, like the random ones that you go to, my entire playthrough. I played that game for like over 100 hours. I only went to 3 islands because I just didn't feel motivated to do it. It just wasn't the content I was looking for. So yeah, with all that being said, I think this is my official goodbye to Animal Crossing. I think that I had a fantastic run with it, and I'll probably pick it up in the future because I think Nintendo is adding good features and updates to the game that make it fresh and exciting. But I just don't feel motivated to play, and I'm not going to try to force myself to like the game. I'd rather just hop in and kind of immerse myself and just love it for what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't normally do goodbyes on YouTube in terms of like content wise. Typically when I get bored of something, I just kind of drop it and move on. I have over like 7 YouTube channels. I've been doing YouTube for 7 years, and that's just kind of how I work. I don't milk something until it's dry. If I just don't find an interest, I just move on. And the reason why I'm doing a goodbye this time is because I kind of want to turn this channel into something else. For a long time now, I've been wanting to do kind of like commentary style videos, which is kind of like what this video is. It's just me talking about something that particularly interests me or something that I just feel like talking about. And I think it's going to be my new challenge. 2020 has been a big year for me trying out challenges. One of the challenges was this channel, starting up an Animal Crossing channel and uploading as frequently as I could, and, you know, really getting into one particular game. And that went well, and I thought it was fun, but like I said, I lost interest. And then my next challenge was streaming for 6 months every single day for 8 hours a day consistently. And that was absolutely insane. I pulled it off, and it didn't quite have the results I was looking for, but I still had a good time. So I think my next challenge is these commentary videos of me just talking about what interests me. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay subscribed, and we might have a good time. If it doesn't sound interesting to you, then by all means, go ahead and unsubscribe. It actually helps YouTubers when you unsubscribe if you're going to stop watching their videos, believe it or not. So I don't take any offense if you decide to do that. This channel's always just been like a side fun thing. It used to be a RuneScape channel, which I am playing RuneScape again, funny enough. But anyways, yeah, we'll talk about more stuff in the future. There's a few topics I want to cover. I guess I'll just list them off so you can kind of get an idea of what we'll be talking about. I want to talk about, like, is YouTube worth doing in current year? You know, like starting up your own channel and making content, or why Pokemon just kind of doesn't feel fun anymore. I would go more in depth than I did here, like what I did with Animal Crossing, because I think there's a lot of great changes they could make to Pokemon to kind of fix it. But yeah, just like things like that. I mean, I'll even talk about Sonic Adventure 3. That's like one of my most anticipated games of all time. But yeah, we'll talk about a lot of stuff. If you have any topics or questions, leave them in the comments and I'll check them out. But yeah, that is what this channel is going to become, and I am kind of excited about it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.